I'm sitting out here in Northern Recovery Centre with patient Daniel. Now, Daniel has been a patient of George O'Neill's. He's received the naltrexone implant and the flumazenil implant. And Daniel, would you be keen to share with us like how you got started with the treatment program?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been in the program now for 6 months. It all started with basically my life had got to a point where I'd had enough, and I walked into the Subiaco clinic wanting to come into residential rehab. So that's when I got the naltrexone implant. I also had the infusions of the flumazenil, where that's when I decided to get the actual implant. And from there I went through the procedures. There's quite a procedure to get into residential rehab. I was in a detox centre for 6 weeks, and then after I detoxed, I waited to come up here, and this is where I've been for the last 6 months. And yeah, life's a lot better than it was.
Yeah, because you're graduating tonight, aren't you?
I certainly am, yeah.
And it's certainly no easy feat for anyone to go through. Like, what would you say to the person who's still struggling out there in the community? What message would you bring to them that might bring them a bit of hope or a bit of courage?
Well, that places like this, they actually work, you know. That there is hope out there. You know, there's professionals here who give their hours every day just to help people like ourselves. And to see people, 9 of us are graduating tonight. And to me, that's quite a success rate, one day at a time. It's turned out to be 6 months, and therefore I'm graduating. So.
Would you like to tell us how you lived your life initially before you came into this program? So how was the first 30 or so years of your life like, and how is it different? Yeah,
well, I'd basically say the last 15 years I've really battled with addiction. This is my 4th time at a rehabilitation centre. The first 3 times my heart wasn't really in it, I was doing it for somebody else.
Sure.
But the way I was living, I was living the street life. There was about 6 months where I was actually on the streets of Perth.
Right.
And the continuous chasing for amphetamines every day, the thug lifestyle. I got to a point where I'd had enough of it. I was in a really, really unhealthy relationship, and I found out she was cheating on me, and that morning I just had enough. I said to her, I'm just going out to get smokes, and I walked out and never came back. And I walked down to the clinic, and that's when my journey really started, But yeah, I got to a point where my life was so unmanageable. I couldn't hold down a job. I'd lost trust in all my family, So I actually walked off the street myself and said, I need to do this for myself and only myself, so therefore I can mend all the relationships I've hurt.
Yeah, wow. And that's what's gotten you through this program this time round?
Absolutely.
Because you were doing it for yourself, and your heart was in the right place. And
yeah,
well, congratulations on making it this far,
Thank you.
That's a really good success story for anybody. Is there anything else that you'd like people watching right now to know about addiction? Or
well, addiction, it can be horrible, where addiction can take you. I've heard it said addiction can take you to jails, institutions, and death. Unfortunately, it's the reality of addiction. But I just thank God that there's places like this which can get you away from that, and you can get on the road to recovery. So
sweet. No, thanks, Daniel.
No worries.